Hello, I'm Dr. Aruna Samal, and today we are going to discuss in this video biopatent, biopiracy, bioethics, and effects, especially the negative effects of biotechnology. Let us talk first about biopatent. It is an exclusive right given to the inventor by the government or government agency. Biopatent is a biological patent. They are awarded for strain of microorganism, cell line, genetically modified strains, DNA sequences, biotechnological processes, and product applications. Remember, Indian patents are allowed only for the process and never for the product. Biopatent allows the patent holder to or not to allow others from making, using, selling, or importing the protected invention for a limited period of time. For biopatents, this time period is 5 years from the date of granting the patent or 7 years from the date of filing the patent application, whichever is less. Parts of a typical patent document. It has 3 parts: grant, specification, and claim. Let us have a look at a sample patent document. What is grant? It is an agreement with the inventor. It has summary detailing who the inventor is, what the patent is, the duration of the patent, that is from this date to this date. Then specification, it has description of the invention. Whereas the claim, it has scope of invention to be protected. The significance of patent, it's a reward and recognition given to the inventor. These are awarded to recognize the innovative contributions made to the human for the human welfare. The awards are given to encourage and to inculcate the scientific culture. First biopatent was awarded for genetically modified bacterium Pseudomonas used for clearing oil spills. Now here is a unique case where patent is awarded in Western countries, but such patents are denied, refused in India. Control of plant gene expression. A patent issued jointly to Delta and Pineland Company and US Department of Agriculture. This patent is based on a gene that produces a toxic protein in a plant that does not allow seeds to germinate. Such patent is morally unacceptable and unequitable. That is the stand taken in India. Financially, powerful corporations would acquire monopoly over biochemical processes, and this would pose a threat to global food security, and therefore such patent is not granted by India. Biopiracy. Piracy is stealing or theft. The act of piracy is unauthorized publication or reproduction of another person's work or material. Biopiracy is a theft of various natural products and then selling them by getting patent without giving any benefit or compensation back to the host country, or not even recognition is given, permission is not taken. It is unauthorized misappropriation of any biological resource and indigenous knowledge. Here, indigenous knowledge refers to the knowledge which is developed in a particular society. It is a unique feature of that culture. For example, Ayurveda is the indigenous knowledge of India. Acupuncture is another such example of indigenous knowledge of China. And biopiracy helps that pirate to develop modern commercial applications that save the time, money, and efforts for him. Components of traditional knowledge, what we are saying, are especially relevant to our global survival, and that includes the knowledge of food, crop varieties, and agricultural or farming practices. Here, farming practices, you can say the double or triple farming, what is done instead of monocultural farming or rotational farming practices, which are exclusively carried out in certain parts of the world. Sustainable management of natural resources. Here, sustainable means the use is made of that resources, but in such a way that that will never cause a threat for the very existence of that resource. And conservation of biological diversity. Biologically important medicines or medicinally important plants. Now we all know that most of the developed and industrialized countries are financially rich countries. They are technologically advanced countries, but they are poor in biodiversity and traditional knowledge. On the other hand, the developing or underdeveloped nations of the world are very rich in biodiversity and traditional knowledge of their bioresources, which includes understanding of the ecological processes and sustainable extraction of local natural products. And this information, this knowledge is handed down through generations from ancient time. The knowledge is never patented. That is the drawback of this whole process, that this traditional knowledge which is acquired is never patented. Now, most developed and industrialized, which are financially rich nations, what they do, they identify commercially useful information from the traditional knowledge of poor countries, developing countries, and then they bring about minor alterations or changes in the material or processes, and then they claim for its ownership through legal process of patenting. This is biopiracy. The objection taken for this act is the material cannot be called as invention or innovation when they are based on centuries of knowledge of the traditional societies. Let us take few examples. Haldi or turmeric biopiracy. Two American researchers of Indian origin of the University of Mississippi put a claim to the US Patent and Trademark Office stating that they discovered healing properties of haldi. They were granted a patent in March 1995. They were granted the exclusive rights over any haldi drug. But the objection was raised. Indians know traditionally the healing property of haldi for ages. It is given in our Ayurveda for centuries. Then the Council of Scientific Research and Industrial Research appealed to the US Patent Office for re-examination. Ultimately, the patent got cancelled. Another example, basmati rice. Texas-based American company Rice Tech Incorporation put a claim to the US Patent and Trademark Office stating that they invented basmati rice line and grains having trade name Taxmati. They were granted a patent in March 1997, but the objection, basmati is indigenous to Indian subcontinent. There was people's movement against Rice Tech Incorporation. The patent got cancelled. Third example is neem, Azadirachta indica biopiracy. The USDA and American MNC multinational company WR Grace in early 90s claimed that they invented the fungicidal property method for controlling on plants by the aid of hydrophobic extracted neem oil. They were granted a patent in early 90s from European Patent Office. Objection: Indians are using neem in various ways since ancient time. India has shared the knowledge of neem with the entire world. The patent could not get cancelled. Next topic for our discussion is bioethics. Moral principles that regulate application of biotechnology. Biotechnology is a powerful tool. It has given the human beings a power to improve our health and control the development processes of almost all living beings. But this has raised certain ethical concerns affecting social, economic, and environmental spheres. These concerns are broadly summarized as follows. Use of animals causes great sufferings to them. Introduction of transgenes from one species to another species violates the integrity of that species. Transfer of human genes into animals and vice versa dilutes the concept of humanness. Indiscriminate use of biotechnology poses risk to the environment, health, and loss of biodiversity. Biotechnology is disrespectful to animals and exploits them for human benefits. Bioethics helps to study moral vision, decision, and policies of human behavior in relation to biological phenomena or events. It helps to regulate the application of biotechnology by some set of standards. Bioethics mainly deal with life, for example, in vitro fertilization, sperm bank, gene therapy, cloning, gene manipulation, euthanasia, death, maintaining those who are in comatose state, prenatal genetic selection, etc. Now we are going to discuss negative effects of biotechnology, which will be on environment and on human health. The environmental effect we will study under herbicide use and resistance. With the help of genetic engineering, we have produced genetically modified plants which have two types of capabilities. One is they have inherent pesticides. We can take the example of Bt crops which have transgenes encoding for cry proteins, and this plant itself acts as a deterrent for the pest attacking them. Whereas the other type of genetically modified plants are those which are resistant to the specific herbicides. Now herbicides are weedicides, the chemicals sprayed in the fields to kill the undesired plants growing along with the crop plants. And these weedicides should not kill the crop plants. And therefore, the crop plants are made resistant to these herbicides. But the negative effect of it is there is increase in the use of herbicide. And unintended weeds, those weed plants, can develop resistance through cross-pollination, through crossbreeding. Of course, they should be sexually compatible with the crop plants. If crop plants and the weed plants are sexually compatible, then there is a possibility of these weed plants developing resistance due to cross-pollination. We can take the example of Roundup Ready soybean. Roundup Ready is the brand name, and these soybean plants have already been used in agricultural practices, and these soybeans have the resistance for herbicides. Another effect is effect on untargeted species. Now here we are talking about plants which themselves have inherited or inheritance resistance for pests such as Bt plants. Now the positive side of it is they have inherent pesticides which can act against the bollworms. But the negative aspect of it is unintentional unintentional adverse effects are observed on neutral or those which are actually beneficial organisms. So along with killing the pest, the beneficial organisms like monarch butterflies, they are also getting killed. And we all know that butterflies play an important role in pollination. The effects on human health, this we will discuss under 4 headings: allergies, long-term effect, new proteins, and food additives. Allergies. Genetically modified crops could potentially have negative effect on human health, and on consumption, the human beings may develop unexpected allergic reactions. Let us take the example of Brazil nut. The gene from this Brazil nut plant is transferred. The gene which encodes for methionine amino acid, that gene is transferred to soybeans. So soybean is made transgenic or genetically modified. And people who were allergic to Brazil nut, but they were not initially allergic to soybean, but when they ate the transgenic soybean plant, they became allergic to soybean also. Long-term effects. Genetic engineering is a recently developed technology, and therefore we do not have enough data to understand the long-term effects of genetically modified plants on human health. So we have to be cautious, we have to be alert in this respect. New proteins. Human body is evolved from ages, and the genetically modified plants are producing proteins which human digestive system may not be evolved to handle those proteins, and such proteins have become a routine part of our diet. Their potential effect on human body are not yet understood. Once again, we do not have enough data about this. Food additives. The genetically modified plants are producing additional nutrients. The biofortification is being done of the food. Then they are used as factories for producing antibiotics and vaccines. However, there is possibility of creation of antibiotic and vaccine resistant strains of pathogens. Thus, we have come to the end of our discussion on biopatent, biopiracy, and effects, especially negative effects of biotechnology. Thank you.